Unless you live in a remote area without internet access, you're probably very familiar with this picture. The video version of it depicts Derek Chauvin, hands in pockets, casually looking around as he nonchalantly squeezes the life out of George Floyd's body by pressing his knee into Mr. Floyd's neck. In this video, I'll explain why Mr. Chauvin is considered innocent. Hello, good people. My name is Janice. I'm an attorney, educator, public speaker, and author of the companion book to this channel, Dignity, Human Rights in Daily Life, which is going to launch on Cyber Monday 2020. Thanks for stopping by. If you're new to this channel, welcome. After watching this video, I invite you to check out this playlist, and please consider subscribing. According to Article 11 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, anyone charged with a penal offense has the right to be presumed innocent until proved guilty, according to the law, in a public trial at which he has had all guarantees necessary for his defense. No one shall be held guilty of any penal offense on any account of any act or omission which did not constitute a penal offense under national or international law, nor shall a heavier penalty be imposed than the one that was applicable at the time the penal offense was committed. In a nutshell, you cannot be charged with a crime without certain procedural protections, called due process. If you are charged with a crime and found guilty, the court can't sentence you to a punishment that's harsher than the one that was on the books when you committed the crime. I'll briefly touch on the history of due process, show you how it plays out in the George Floyd case, and to illustrate why it's important in a democratic society. The principle of due process dates back to 1215 when a group of barons had a beef with King John. They were tired of being at risk of losing their property to him on a whim. To settle the score, the barons got together and forced King John to sign what's known as the Magna Carta. It's a document that is significant in the history of democratic societies because it established the principle that everyone is subject to the law, even the king, and it guaranteed individuals' right to justice and the right to a fair trial. This prevented the king from being able to take their property whenever he desired. Raising successful children is no easy feat, which is why I created How to Teach Your Children to Think for Themselves. In this course, you're going to get the blueprint for teaching your 7 to 12-year-olds how to think critically using my 4-step process called the Sikka Method, which is derived from my experience as an educator, lawyer, and civic leader. During this process, you're going to be guiding your children into becoming critical thinkers and help them understand their place in society. You'll also assess where they are with their critical thinking skills in comparison to where they began. The link is in the description. The Founding Fathers of the United States enshrined the principle of due process under the 5th Amendment and obligates the state courts to do the same under the 14th Amendment. Now, there are 2 types of courts. There's the court of public opinion, and then there's the court of law. The court of public opinion reflects the collective attitude of a people in society regarding a contemporary problem. Here is the killing by policemen of black and brown people with impunity. Watch the video, and there's no doubt that Derek Chauvin killed George Floyd. Therefore, in the court of public opinion, he's already guilty. However, since the state has to afford Mr. Chauvin his due process rights, he's only allegedly to have murdered Mr. Floyd. The state of Minnesota brought 2 charges against Mr. Chauvin. The first one is 3rd-degree murder, where the state does not have to show intent, but only that the mindset of Mr. Chauvin at the time was one where he had no regard for human life. That charge was dropped. The second charge is 2nd-degree manslaughter, where the state does not have to show intent, only that Mr. Chauvin exercised an unreasonable risk of serious harm to Mr. Floyd or death of Mr. Floyd. As a person who is considered innocent until proven guilty, Mr. Floyd has a right to be released to the public on bail or without bail, which is also known as being released on one's own recognizance. Fair treatment means having a trial, not having to testify against himself at the trial, and being found guilty before the court of law recognizes Mr. Chauvin as a convicted murderer. If the state can do that, then Mr. Chauvin will be sentenced for his crime. I say if because the job of a defense counsel is to keep evidence out of court. If Mr. Chauvin's attorney can do that, then he'll go free. Due process and the presumption of innocence is crucial in a democratic society because it ensures a fair trial, it protects the integrity of the justice system, and it also respects the human dignity of the person being charged. Whereas the court of public opinion serves as a catalyst for change. So, if you learned anything new in this video, write hashtag Team Dignity in the comments, like, share, subscribe if you haven't already, and until next time, be well and remember to live your life with dignity. Bye-bye.